So the creativity tornado tore through my office again yesterday. It was all tidy and then I did a little bit of sewing and I just finished tidying up a little bit. But there really isn't any point to that because there's gonna be some more sewing today and it's just gonna get trashed again. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that I did a little sewing yesterday and I sewed an Akita top, which is a really simple, quick pattern by Seamwork. I actually got this like really gorgeous fabric from a friend. She was destashing some fabric and unloaded all this amazing gorgeous fabric on me, and I saw these two together and I knew immediately they had to be something together. I immediately thought of the Akita top. If you can see, it has like this really awesome shimmer to it, and I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's definitely cotton. It's kind of like this, it has a lot of structure to it. And I would almost say it's like a linen with like a really nice metallic sheen to it. And then this is just straight up cotton lace. And I did hack the pattern a little bit. I just cut the pattern in half and then added a 5/8 of an inch to either side. So when I sewed them together with a 5/8 seam allowance, it would come together as if it was just one full pattern. But I really love the way it turned out. I think I might go with the Marilyn dress from Serendipity Studios. I think it calls for 3 yards, all fabric pieces. So let's go stash diving again. I purchased this from fabric.com, and this is the Violet pattern by Amy Butler. And I have 3 yards of this, so perfect, just what the pattern calls for. And I think I'm gonna make myself a Marilyn dress out of this. So I have all of my pattern pieces cut out and I store them. I like to store all of my pattern pieces in general in these giant gallon Ziploc bags. But first I'm going to make a muslin, which is a habit that I'm trying to get into doing, especially when sewing a pattern for the first time. So I finished cutting out all of my muslin pieces, and looking at the pattern, it tells me that I need to maintain a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm just marking off my my sewing machine here with some washi tape, just so I can easily reference and keep my eye on a straight edge while I'm sewing. Plus, it just kind of makes my sewing machine look so pretty while I'm sewing. Another tip is, after I'm done cutting out all my pieces, I always leave the pattern piece pinned to the fabric without having to guess which piece is which. So that should be a helpful tip. So I'm going to start by sewing the front bodice. Okay, so I finished sewing my muslin. Here it is, and it fits perfectly. I only sewed a muslin for the bodice, not the skirt, because it's a gathered skirt, and the most important part of the outfit that fits is the bodice and the bust line and the waistline. And that's what I sewed up here, and it fits perfectly. Yay! And I wasn't really concerned about perfection, obviously, because it's a muslin, but you can see I marked up certain areas where it told me to do the gathers and whatnot. So, but yeah, it all worked out well. I whipped this up in maybe about 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm confident that the next part will go smoothly. So yes, it is about 8:15 in the evening, and I'm still working on my my Marilyn dress. It's coming together. I finished the bodice. I should probably show you what that looks like. I will be honest, I put the facing on and I'm not too crazy about how the facing is turning out. I'm going to have to tack down, because this is what it looks like. I'm going to have to tack this down just to make it stay and make sure it stays. There are a couple of rogue threads, but I think once I tack it down, it'll be okay. This is an indie pattern, so I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, but we'll see what happens. But so far, so good. It still fits. It fits like a glove, and I'm very happy with the way it's turning out. I think it'll be a success. But right now, I'm working on the skirt. So once I have that together, I'm just gonna have to gather it. It might not happen tonight. Dennis and I went over to our neighbor's place before for just, you know, to hang out. So now I'm just picking up where I left off. So I finished pinning my skirt to the bodice. I will readily admit that sewing gathered skirts is not my favorite thing. It's very fiddly, very tricky. You have to take your time, go very slow. But I will say that I used Gertie's trick for creating gathered skirts with dental floss, and I will try a link to it below. But yeah, let's sew the skirt to the bodice, right? 9 out of 10. By this point, my bobbin tends to run low, so I'm anticipating, oh, I have to remember to switch back. Okay. Don't want zigzag stitch. So, okay. So, I got my foot pedal. Put that down, and you kind of want to finagle. You don't want to squish your gather, so you always want to, with the needle down, you want to raise the foot and then kind of adjust your gathers so they land nice and even. I'm gonna just do a back stitch here. Okay, now we're ready. Under. All right. You don't want the end of your skirt to get caught on anything. Sometimes you can cheat. And you don't want to stitch over your pins. Not that anything, knock on wood, not that anything terrible hasn't happened yet, but I hear it's a good idea to take out your pins before you sew over them. You always want to feel like to make sure that the fabric underneath is lying flat where your gathers are gonna go. Guys, I am no expert by any means, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. This is just all from my personal experience. So note, like right here is the dental floss, and on top of the dental floss is a zigzag stitch. I'm just constantly adjusting to make sure all my gathers are even, lying flat, lowering the foot. You can always go back and seam rip all your mistakes, so but just go slow. That's what I recommend. We're almost there. The home stretch. I usually like to follow this part of sewing up with a shot of whiskey or something. I'm just kidding. There we go. And back stitch. And we're done. Let's see what kind of mistakes we made on the other side. Alright, I made a little boo-boo right there. I can just seam rip that. That means I just got some fabric caught in between, like right there. That should not happen. So we'll just seam rip. So I finished my Marilyn dress. It's all done. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. I finished it this morning. And you guys, it fits like a glove. It's not perfect. I mean, as you can see here, it's not very well aligned, but honestly, that really doesn't bother me because the pattern is so busy. So remember yesterday I was talking about how the facings kept flopping out and I was gonna have to secure them down? Well, what I did was, I don't know if you can see that, but I just did a little top stitching there all the way down. You can see it's not perfect. It's not. There's some, I can probably clip that a little bit, but you really can't see it. But yeah, I just did a little top stitching along the edges and everything. I'm very happy with the way it turned out, and the gathers are great. And overall, just a really great, simple pattern. I am definitely gonna make another one very soon, I think. And I really love the shape of it. It's a great, versatile dress that I put together in, I would have to say like 5 hours this came together. The next time I make it, I think it'll go a lot quicker because, you know, this was a new pattern. I had to obviously create a muslin and, you know, just go through the, you know, just getting acclimated with the pattern as a whole. So I think the next time around, it'll go a lot quicker. I think I could probably bang it out in like 4 hours, if not any, you know, maybe less. The reason why I'm having Margot model this is just out of pure laziness. I'm wearing something else right now, you know, and I don't feel like changing, plus the lighting's kind of crappy, so I'm having Margot model it, and I think it looks very lovely on her. Granted, I have it pinned in the back slightly. I don't know if I can turn her around to show you the back, but she's a little more busty than me. But, you know, just to give you an idea of the back, I did an invisible zipper. Yeah, it doesn't close all the way because, again, you know, Margot, she's very well endowed. But yeah, this is an invisible zipper. I just giving you an idea. I serged the edges. There you go. And then installed the invisible zipper. There's a little rampant rogue thread there, but anyway, and yes, the back seams align perfectly, very happy with that. But yeah, very happy with the way this turned out. This is definitely going to be something I wear a lot this summer and cannot wait to make another one.